Mañana Nomás family, how are you? Welcome to the Mañana Nomás morning check-in. I am Kurt Van Anen, your host of Mañana Nomás. And as I'm waiting for YouTube to kind of sign on this page here and make sure I get this speaker turned off for you, I just want to welcome you to another Tuesday and hope that you are just rocking and rolling this week and moving forward, regardless of whatever challenges are out there. Last night I kind of had one of those moments where everybody kind of went to bed early, right? And so not everybody went to bed early. My wife went to bed early. My daughter went upstairs. My son was watching TV, and I just kind of came back into the workspace, right? Turned the computer on and started working some things out. And I've got some goals of my own, right? Now, and it's funny because I say I've got some goals of my own. The course that we are releasing this week, in fact, I'll make it live today, is a goal setting course. I'm going to drip this course out, meaning, you'll sign in and I'm going to keep a lot of things in order, right? And you'll have a prerequisite before you get to the next lesson. And then there'll be a couple of days so that you can think about, application or how that lesson might apply in your situation or in your network, right? And so that course is going to be published today. And I'm also going to publish I don't know if you guys remember or if you were here for this, but I covered the book, The 5 Levels of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. And I love that book. And so I covered that book online, and then I took the replays of that, and I was able to, again, build that kind of into a course as well. And so that'll give me 2 John Maxwell book reviews in my learning management system that I offer to you guys for free, right? All you gotta do is go in, register, enroll for the course, and then you can do the book review, right? Now, I always recommend getting a hard copy of the book and then, following along as you read the book, then jump in on, do the video, share the highlights, things like that, right? And it makes it a little more interactive. And then you get a real, encompassed view of what John Maxwell was trying to communicate through that work. To think that I could, truncate a book that he's written and just give you the highlights and you're good. That's flattering if you believe that. But I personally believe that it's always best to have the hard copy, go through it and, highlight the parts that make sense to you and then move forward in that way. So super stoked that is happening. Now, I stayed up till, after 3 o'clock in the morning working on this kind of stuff, right? And that's because there's other things going on in the background, right? It's so weird. Here we are in this pandemic situation. We have, essential businesses, people that aren't essential, people that have been sent home to work remotely for companies that said they would never pay employees to work from home. These are just really, really, really strange times. And there are times during the day where I feel like I'm busy. I feel like there's important things that need to be handled. And then I also feel that there's urgent things that need to be handled. There's a little tiny book that I have recommended to people for years, and it's called Tyranny of the Urgent. If you get a chance, it's tiny. Pick up that book and read that book and then let it hit you and go, oh man, I'm allowing not important things to distract me from things which I believe are important. And so, and that leads to a lot of retrospective thought, right? So retrospective, introspective, kind of both, I suppose. This is a great time, especially if you're someone that's not used to having so much time home. This is a really great time to really evaluate and go, what is important? Like, why do I want to go and get a new pair of Nikes off of Amazon? Why do I need, this pair of jeans? Why do I need to order these sunglasses? Why do I want to go trade in my car? Why do I want to buy a new motorcycle? I mean, the power sports industry is going through the roof, right? So why is it that in this turbulent time, people are running out and buying new distractions? And I think that is a question we all need to ask ourselves and go, what is it we're trying to fill? What is it that we're trying to complete through these purchases or through these distractions? And for me, I've really come to realize that, I've got, my faith, my faith in God and Jesus as my Savior is a big deal for me. The connection I have with my wife, huge, and the way that I want to love my children is huge. And so those are the things that I really started to recognize and go, okay, well, if that's the focus, if that's really what my drivers are, then why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And why am I doing this? Right. And it's been pretty enlightening to kind of walk that stuff back and go, okay, so where are these distractions coming from? And are these distractions that I want to alleviate, or are these distractions that I want to lower their impact? Or are these really milestones that are on their way to the bigger goal, which deals with my faith, my wife, and my children? Right. And so, deeper conversation all the way around. These are great topics, by the way, for the biweekly support calls I do for people that are in the personal development courses that we've got in the Learning Academy. And then I have biweekly support calls for people in the Power Sports Learning Academy. But hey, we've got the 2 courses coming out. We've got the 5 levels of leadership. We've got the goal setting course coming out. And then something interesting had occurred. I build these learning sites. I didn't pay someone else to make the Mañana No Mas website. I made the Mañana No Mas website. And so I've had a couple of people reach out to me and go, hey, what does e-learning look like? How would you help design this? How would you help design that? I've spoken to some other companies. As you know, I've done, well, maybe you don't know. I built a learning site for Ducati North America. I built a learning site for Suzuki Motor of America. And I've done a couple of other learning sites. I even built one for Heidi, my wife, with the critter sitting thing. And so, these learning sites for me they're fun. They're a creative way to express myself. But something interesting came up in a webinar that I had just seen, and it projects that the e-learning industry is going to be a $300 billion industry with a B, $300 billion industry by 2025. Now, if that's true, because I've been hearing a lot of crazy numbers lately, right? If that's true, well, then if your company doesn't have a learning site, how come they're not calling me or emailing me yet to build one? That's something that I have the capacity to do. And that's one of the services that I offer under the Mañana No Mas banner. And so, yes, I have the training. Yes, I love doing the biweekly support calls. Yes, I have a John Maxwell certification that helps with leadership, that helps guide the conversations and build people up, as far as like doing project management and stuff like that. I mean, right up my alley, right? And then to find out that the e-learning industry is going to grow to $300 billion by 2025, well, that's something that, bing, I'm like, well, let's jump on this roller coaster and see where this goes, especially during the COVID crisis. So I'm going to throw it out there again. I've said it before, but I'll say it again as a refresher. If you have an organization or a company that needs to put some learning information online, you can either lease space through my site and send your members to that, private area of the website, or we can build a learning management site of your own and hook that to your existing website. Or if you don't have a website, we can take care of the whole thing for you. I've built over 350 websites. So that's one of the things I bring to the table. I'm pretty efficient at. Speaking of numbers, and here's something that's blown my mind, right? Now, I haven't been overly political at all. At least I don't think I have, about masks, no mask, COVID, closing businesses, shutting things down. I don't think I've been very vocal about this. But I heard a number, I want to say 2 days ago, that like shocked me. And then I heard it again. And then I heard it again, right? And there's a big trend right now. Everyone's talking about this kind of stuff online. They're talking about, child abductions and child trafficking and all these things. And this number came up and I didn't believe it, right? Now remember, a lot of the stuff gets censored, right? So someone will put a post up on TikTok or Facebook or Twitter, and then poof, it just disappears, right? So people put stuff up and boom, it's gone. So out of curiosity, and I almost encourage you to do the same thing, I went to Google, and in the search bar, I put how many children go missing in the United States every year. And up pops through Google search. The information says it's estimated that 800,000 children go missing every year And I thought, well, there's only 330 million people in the country. So then I started thinking about like the percentage of missing. I don't know anybody that's missing a child. Like, I'm really thinking about this. I'm like, I don't know anybody that's missing. Where do these numbers come from? So I thought to myself, if there really is 800,000 missing children a year, well, how many of those are runaways? Okay, so let's take that out. Let's say there's 200,000 runaways a year. You know, Portland's full of runaway teens, and San Francisco, and all these beach areas, right? You know, all you got to do is ride your bike down to the beach and you'll see, you know, some 18-year-old sitting on a curb somewhere smoking weed without a job, right? So there's a ton of that. I'll get it. Okay, so maybe that's 150, 200,000 are runaways, right? Where's the 500,000 to 700,000 missing, abducted children? How is that not mainstream news? I was blown away. So, you know, we're chasing COVID. We're shutting down businesses. We have locked down the economy, and meanwhile, 800,000 kids go missing a year, and I'm like, that that's a bizarre number. Uh, and again, yeah, you know, I don't want to be overly political, but I was like, wow, it was just a number that just blew my mind. You know, it's amazing to me when you actually take a number that the media puts out or that you see online, and then you put in those terms. You go, well, there's 330 million people, so what's the percentage of that? And you go, that's a pretty high percentage. I wasn't thinking it would be like that, right? And so I found that to be pretty interesting. Um, Other than that, it's going to be a killer day, right? So, pardon me, I'm helping some folks with some learning management systems, learning management decisions, as far as what kind of systems they want to put into their businesses. So I'm helping with that. We've got the 2 courses that'll be released today. I'm editing down more video, and I'm just super pleased to be able to come to you on a daily basis, check in, and make sure you're okay. We are due for another Zoom night out pretty soon. And so I will post up the next Zoom night out up on the Zoom night out group page on Facebook and on LinkedIn. And it might not be this week, it might be next week before we do that. But you know, we're due. It's been a couple of weeks. So I'll get a Zoom night out posted to get everybody together and you know, cheers, toast a glass. And then the other thing is, the Pod Show Exchange is a site I put up last month, 6 weeks ago, something like that. And I built it as, it was intended to be built as a community for podcasters to help them find, you know, helped connect Pod Show creators and contributors together, so that it would be kind of a united place for people to get together, share ideas, and make really good podcasts. And so that hasn't really taken off yet. I need to see, you know, a good core group of maybe 50 or 100 people jump in there and start to use that website, begin to build a community, become founding members, and founding members get in for free, right? So that's one of the good things about being a founding member. You can jump into, you know, the podshowexchange.com. You can register, won't cost you nothing, and you're in. Once this thing develops into a community and has value, well, then there'll be a subscription cost for new people to join. But early adopters always get in for free, at least with the stuff I build. So I will talk to you guys later. I hope that you're having a great day. God bless and take care. Bye-bye.